Welcome viewers. My name is Ede Promise, aka Uncle P, and you're welcome to Isife Edu Blog. Like our video, share to friends and well wishers, and always remember to hit on the bell or the subscription bell for notification of our new videos. Now we're going to be looking at the structure and functions of the mammalian eye. In this video, I'll be taking time to explain how to draw a mammalian eye and fully label it without cramming or thinking how to draw it. Most times, students see this question in the exam, SSC exam, theory questions, draw a mammalian eye, and most times these questions carries up to 10 to 12 marks. Students are adamant they neglect such kind of question without the thinking. In the structure of the eye, I would like to start with the three layers of the eye. The three layers of the eye. The first layer of the eye, which is the outer part, outer layer of the eye, comprises or consists of this structure called the sclera. This structure called the sclera and another structure called the cornea. Cornea. So the outer layer of the eye is the sclera and the cornea. And then to the second layer of the eye we have the middle layer. The middle layer comprises of the choroid, comprises of the choroid, 2, ciliary body, 3, iris. And then the last but not the least, we have the inner layer of the eye. The inner layer of the eye, which comprises just this layer, the most important part of the eye, which is the retina. But in turn, the retina comprises of a photoreceptive cells, and a pigment layer. Now, the photoreceptive cell of the retina also comprises of two main parts, which is the rods and cones. The rods and cones are the photoreceptive cells of the eye. So we are going to see how we're going to fix these structures, these layers, and see how it comes out to be what represents the eye. If you are asked in any exam to draw the eye, this is what I expect you to do. I'm going to do it on the board. Watch me. Anyway, you can pause the video and check how we are fixing each of these layers. We're going to start as soon as possible. Now, viewers, remember I told you that the first part of the eye is the outer eye, which is the sclera. So I'm going to draw a sclera now. The sclera, which gives shape to the eye. You know, like the eye is not like a tennis ball. Eyeball. It gives shape to the eye. So I'm going to draw that part of the eye. That's it. This is the outer part of the first outer part of the eye, which is the sclera. I can come a little bit close and make sure that it looks like a ball. That's the first thing you should do when you are asked to draw this. I've been able to show the first part, which is sclera, and I have to show the second part, which is the cornea. Cornea is a protruding part of the outer layer. Protruding part of the outer layer. That's what it is. Are you with me? So that means the sclera stops somewhere around here and here. So this part is the cornea. From here to here is the what? Sclera. The sclera gives protection to other underlying part of the eye. You're going to see other inner part of the eye, but the sclera does not protect the cornea. The sclera is tough, very tough, elastic, and not transparent. Light cannot pass through the sclera. But this part of the eye, called cornea, is transparent. Light can always get access to the eye through these parts of the eye, called the cornea. Light can always go inside the cornea, but light cannot go through the sclera. Take note. So these are the two parts of the eye, the sclera and the cornea. Just like the sclera protects the other part of the eye, but not giving protection to the cornea. What protects the cornea is the conjunctiva. So I'm going to have the conjunctiva coming this way to protect. Coming this way to protect, to give protection to this side of the eye. This is the conjunctiva. The conjunctiva protecting the cornea, but it's not protecting the sclera. The sclera gives protection to other underlying parts of the eye. So I have shown what gives protection. The extension of the conjunctiva here is your eyelid. This is your eyelid. Your eyelid. Your eyelid. Your conjunctiva that protects the cornea. The eyelid protects too much passage of light to the eye. Okay, let's go to the second layer. That is the middle layer of the eye, where we have the choroid. The choroid. So I'm going to draw the choroid. The choroid should be the middle. So the choroid is the middle part of the eye. But mind you, that in this case, there is an opening. An opening where the eye opens, and there is an outlet of impulses leaving the eye from the eyeball. So remember to break that parts of the eye. And then the choroid can pass through and stop somewhere 2 meters before the last part of the sclera. And here the same thing, the choroid can start here and end 2 meters before the end part of the sclera. I will tell you why as I explain. And now, okay, this is the choroid parts of the eye. Because I see that this part of this eye is vascularized. The part of this eye, choroid, is vascularized. What is vascularized? It means that this part of the eye is well supplied with blood vessel. Is well supplied with blood what? Vessel. So I can use spotted to show that this part of the eye is vascularized, which is rich in blood vessels. So through this vascularized part of the choroid, blood pass through the eye, through this vessel. Blood and nutrients pass the eye, nourishes the eye through this vessel. So the function of the choroid is to furnish, supply the eye with food or nutrients. Then the choroid, because it's vascularized, can form a tissue. A tissue, I prefer to call it a tissue. This protruding tissue, which is called the ciliary body. This ciliary body is an extension of the choroid. There is a circular muscle here, which I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay, the same way this one, that's why I told you that this will not extend up to this point. And another point is that here also form that ciliary body. Look at the ciliary body. So I've been able to show the two main parts of the middle eye. The first part is the choroid, and the second part. The second part is the ciliary body. They are made up of three. One is choroid. I've shown the choroid layer. Two is the ciliary body. I've shown it as well. Look at the ciliary body here. And three is the iris. So I'm going to show the iris. Iris will be formed here. And the other iris here. Okay. Now, the parts of the ciliary body, there is an extension that is to show the part of the iris from the two ciliary body, the iris. And the two iris can never meet together, so there will be a hole that is existing in between these two iris, which is called the eye diaphragm or the pupil, through which light enters the eye. So we have shown these three parts of the middle eye. The choroid, which I said is vascularized, the blood well supplied to these parts which forms this body called the ciliary body, and an extension of the ciliary body is the iris. The iris. Now, so we have these parts of this extension of the choroid, vascularized part of the choroid, which forms this base part of the eye, which is still part of the middle eye. Now we've been able to establish the outer layer of the eye, which is the sclera, the cornea. The cornea is being protected by the conjunctiva, and the sclera protects the choroid. It protects the iris, but does not protect this part of the eye, which is the cornea. Cornea, like I said earlier, is transparent. It's through that light enters the eye. I'm going to add the last layer of the eye, which is the inner layer, which comprises of the retina. So retina is going to enter now. This is the retina, and I don't want to start here. I would like to start somewhere around here. So draw the retina. And now this is the retina. That is the third layer of the eye. The retina. And there is a little hole here. I will explain what the hole is for. And the retina continues, and stops somewhere around here. But I will still continue and stop somewhere around here. Like I told you before now, the retina, which is the middle eye, comprises of pigment layer. So I'm going to show the pigment layer. Pigment is color, which could be black, blue, or brown. Some people have blue eye. That's their pigments. Pigment layer, or the pigment layer extends through this part of the eye. It extends and extends up to here, giving these parts pigments or its color. It also extends, giving this part its color also. So the retina here, let me assume it's black. It's black, but in exam it's done shade. I just want to use it to show you the different layers. So this is the pigment parts of the retina that is black, so it extends even up to the iris. But the second layer of the retina, which is the photosensitive or photoreceptive cell, which are rods and cones, has limitation, okay, where they can reach and where they can stop. So from here, the cones begins from here, the rod and cones, which is the photosensitive cells. Look at where they are, and they continue, and to some extent, you can see they don't appear in this particular push part where impulses are leaving the eye through this part. This is called the blind spot. So there is no rods and cones. So here it's not sensitive to light. So we can jump the rods and cones and also begin here and make sure there is enough rods, cones here at the fovea, and we continue and stop close to the parts of the ciliary body. These are the parts of the eye that is the most important parts of the retina. That is the cells of the eye. So in fact, these cells of the eye ensure that when light enters the eye, this black part of the eye absorbs light, making it impossible for light to reflects in the eyeball. So light cannot reflect in the eyeball because of the pigment layer in the retina. Rather, the lights are absorbed. For the eye to see any object, light must enter before an object is clearly seen. Take note of that. So we're able to draw a typical eye, but one thing is remaining, which is the lens. The lens. So there is a suspensory here and here, which tends to hold firmly these parts of the eye. This part of the eye, which is called the lens. So the lens is being suspended by a what? A lens. Now, students, I'm going to be showing you how to label and score in exams where the structure is asked to draw. This is the diagram of the eye. And we can start to label. As you can see, I make sure that this eye is in a well position so I can have enough space where my label parts will appear. If I want to label, I must make sure that all the lines are horizontally placed. All the lines are horizontal. The structure is very beautiful now, but what can reduce your mark or your score is the labeling. Labeling alone has its own mark. Very important to know that. So if I should label this eye, I will start from this particular part. Okay? And to make sure I don't have any hitches or hindrance, I have to remove something so that I can show clearly what the structure is all about. Like I told you before, this part of the eye is the extension of the conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is your eyelid. Eyelid. So I'm going to write here, eyelid. Eyelid. Okay, and now the next structure that I would like to label here is this part, which is the outer part of the eye, which is, make sure it's in line with this, which is sclera. What is the function of sclera? The sclera protects the underlining or the inner part, the inner and the middle part of the eye, such as the choroid, the retina, the ciliary body, the lens, the suspensory ligaments, the iris, are being protected by the sclera. But the sclera does not give protection to the cornea. What protects the cornea is the conjunctiva. So this is sclera, that is the outer part of the eye. And then I would like to label, because I can't see the choroid to come in the front, so that I don't cluster this label part, I can come over to this side to label my choroid. Look at my choroid. Like I told you, this is a very vascularized part of the eye. Well vascularized because it's very rich in blood supplying the eye with nutrients, nourishment, food, making sure that blood gets to the eye through the choroid. That is the function of the choroid. So here now, I'm going to have to label the second layer of the eye, which is the choroid. When it becomes obvious that the structure of this cannot be well labeled at this point, so that you don't cross lines in between, you have to come over to this side, because we're going to have many structures to label in the eye. So it's very important that in this case, you can have to label on both sides, but make sure that the structure of any biological diagram must be situated at the center of your book or your page or your answer booklet. Or you can even extend this eye to the extreme, so you can have more space at the right hand side. Let the diagram be on the left, let your label part be on the right. That is basically the rule of biological drawing and labeling. Now label the second layer, which is the choroid, and then same clearly the other part of the middle layer of the eye. There is a muscle here suspending this. That muscle, I have to label it. I can come this way, just slightly here, and still go horizontally. I make sure I don't cluster the structure. I make sure I don't cluster the structure. It's very, very important you don't cluster it. So whenever it becomes a case that this structure is going to hinder the structure, I can as well go this area, come here, and still label it as my ciliary muscle, which can be a radial muscle or a circular muscle. It's a ciliary muscle holding the ciliary body. Then I can come here now and label here ciliary body. Okay. And now we have this structure here, which is our iris. And then we have this structure, we must label it. I told you, label the extension part of it, which is the eyelids. Now we're going to have to label this, which is the conjunctiva. This protection to the cornea. So after the conjunctiva, I must remember that this is the cornea. Label it alongside that. Okay? Now, there is a lens. This is a lens. But before the lens, there is a structure here. There's a solution here. There's a solution here, which is called the aqueous humor. Aqueous humor. Aqueous humor. Okay, there's a lens, so you have to come down. There's a hole in between these parts. Let me take that first. Hole in between these two iris. That hole is from here to here. So the hole is called the pupil. The pupil. And then this is the lens. The lens. And then we have label here. We have this thing that is only the lens. We are not able to get it in this place, but we can get it here. This is called the suspensory ligaments. Okay, that is it. Then we can come over here, because I think we have here already filled up. We can come over here to have our structure. I have to come back on labeling of the structure. So we can have to come over here and have this part of the eyeball label. Inside this eyeball, there's a solution there called the vitreous. Humor. Okay. Now there's a very important part of the eye which we have not labeled, which is this part of the eye called the retina. The retina. There is a place, a hole that is leaving the eye. From the eyeball is going away from the eye. This part is called the blind. The blind spots. So this place is rich in nerve. So this is optic, nerve, and then here is fovea. Make sure it's horizontal. Fovea. Okay. After the diagram, make sure you give it the title and the caption. This is just a what? Mammalian eye. Okay.